Just wanted to give you a quick overview of what we talked about at the parent information meeting on the evening of Tuesday, November 19th. You'll get a link to this slideshow as well, so I am going to just rip through it and let you go back at your own speed if you want to see some things. There's a quick little video here that we're not going to watch, but if you want to hear some good advice from two former students who are now recent high school graduates, check that out. One thing that we really are really proud of at SOC is how many students are able to complete and successfully rock out the project from start to finish. This is a photograph of our kids last year who actually advanced in the competition. We tell the students it's kind of a lot like doing a marathon. You do it so that you can say you accomplished it and finished it. But there is also a competitive element to it. So folks who are very motivated to enter the competition or who get surprised by how good of a job they do, because a lot of students have never done this before, so they really don't know what they're capable of until they start, feeling that success. But as you can see, we have a very high success level, not just with students finishing it, but doing such a good job that they're actually among the top students in our region of the state overall, and even the nation as well. So that's really exciting. If you look at that picture, most of those students would not have thought that they were capable of making it to regions with their project. And that's all what they're smiling about because they advanced to regions. So it is really about helping students see their potential. And I would recommend watching this quick little video when you look through this slideshow. And this quote on the right here was one of my favorites from Sam Weinberg, just about, we often underestimate kids' abilities to think, or we believe their self-esteem depends on having tasks they easily do. But we feel good about ourselves by doing things we thought we couldn't do, with capable people around to pick us up after a tumble and show us our reach can exceed our grasp. And I'm going to read that out to you because it's really what we walk the whole time. The teachers of the social studies team at SOC that support your students with this. And so this is kind of a rundown. This is the three hats of History Day. Students start off with a detective hat on, discovering information about their topic, digging into sources, really getting to learn a lot about it, finding those connections. The next hat they wear is that scholar hat. So they're doing analysis. They're saying, okay, I've got all this stuff that has all this information, but where are the connections? Where are the missing pieces? What do I still need to find? In January, we'll be going on a field trip to the University of Minnesota where students will be doing college level research as college students for a day. And for a lot of kids, that's their first time actually being on a college campus and actually doing college work, the work of college students. And it's really a very, really real world, eye-opening experience for a lot of students. And then that last hat is the chef's hat, where students are taking all this stuff, all this resources, all these sources, all this information, all this analysis, and now they're going to have to share it and present it and pick out the right things to prepare something that's going to be consumed by the public. And just the one bullet point that's in red here, students are expected to invest a minimum of 1 hour per week outside of school. How they do that is up to them. If it's 1 hour on the weekends, one night a week with 1 hour, or spread out in 15-minute chunks or whatever, is pretty much up to them. But that's definitely, and that's what students have said is necessary. So obviously more time, but to a limit. You can overwork, and we don't want students to do that as well. Definitely everything that we are talking about here is giving students real world skills. If you look at this list from a Forbes article, top 10 skills of 2030, pretty much all of those things we are working on and helping students get better with as they're working on this project. There's another great video there to check out. I definitely would recommend watching that short video. The ways that parents can support students, and there's a handout as well that you'll want to check out. The handout has sort of a week by week or a deadline by deadline approach to what you're going to need to be able to support your student. But these bullet points are basically the biggest ways that we've heard, and most of us teachers are now History Day parents as well. We've had our own students go through, and so we've seen this project, obviously, not just from the classroom, but also from the home. And so these major bullet points, ask them questions, keep asking them what they're finding, where their sources are. Um, Ask to see their bibliography, ask to see their research check in, look at that list of deadlines that you have, and see how they're doing. Have them show you if you are wanting to support them at home with this. And then get them to the library. There's lots of different libraries too, and there's a really great resource. If you click this link, a lot of libraries that there's History Day mentors and staff all around the state. Like 25,000 kids do History Day, 30,000 kids do History Day every year. And so there's lots of good resources available to you here in the metro area at different locations and some of these different events going on. There are also some virtual ones, and I strongly recommend checking that out. Um, and then there's just a couple other things here that parents can do. But like this last one says here, be an advocate for a child, keep in touch with us. It's good for kids to be confused a little bit, but too much is bad. I like this quote: if your brain doesn't hurt, you're not thinking hard enough. They will be working harder on this than they have for probably a lot of projects that maybe they've ever had. But what we've found and what we've heard is that because they get lots of support, lots of time, their skill set builds really strong, and that really helps them out as they continue down their not just their K-12 journey, but into whatever's beyond, whether that's college or career right off the bat. They develop a really strong sense of tenacity and confidence. So yeah, cheer them on, keep them in the game. It's a roller coaster. You have ups and downs with any big important task. You have times when you're feeling like it's going great and times when you need other folks to be like, stick with it, you got this. If you want to know what former students have said, we spend a lot of time helping students pick a good topic. That really is the most important part. This year's theme, by the way, is rights and responsibilities in history. When students pick a topic that they are interested in, they stick with it really well. They will read texts that are more challenging than what they're used to reading because they have a high level of interest in it. You've probably seen that at home. A couple other slides here worth checking out. They kind of speak for themselves, so I won't read you what that is. What really drives then all of their really good work once they have that topic is finding really good sources. And they're going to be making a bibliography that's divided up into primary and secondary sources. And you can see an example of a bibliography on here. And obviously, this is a completed one at a national level. A SOC student last year. This is a bibliography, but it's not that different than what most bibliographies look like at the school level in February. So this is obviously an exemplar of what it should look like, but um, your child's bibliography will start to build like this. When we show students this, they get surprised. What? We're going to make that? Yeah. And as they start to see it shape up, and a new source today, and another source in a couple of days, and more sources, and suddenly, like, my bibliography is 4 pages, my bibliography is 6 pages. It's really neat to see that process, and this is what it looks like at the end. um, Primary sources look like that, secondary sources look like that, and then historical context is really important. They're not just doing a report, and they're not doing a report about a single event. They're connecting it to all the other parts of the world that are going on. And this little puzzle piece slide is an example of all these different things influence the stuff that happens in the world. And so looking for those things as it connects to their topic is also part of their research. So they're not just drilling in on a specific thing, they're looking at the bigger world around it. And then they're also looking at different perspectives. Um, there's more than just two sides too, and then there's often missing perspectives. Sometimes people's they have to really dig to find voices that maybe have been left out by the story, but we're still there. and are still available. It's not like they're going to go back in time and talk to people, but those people left sources behind, and they're out there. They just have to dig a little further to find those. At the end, this is all about telling a story. And so the topic is in the middle there. That's the heart. And this is the visual from last year. This should say rights and responsibilities. But the heart is what their topic is. But stuff happened before that led to that. And we call that the background. That's sort of the big world stuff. The buildup is sort of the smaller world stuff, more specific to the topic. This is obviously the big topic. And then how did that change history? Like, so what? That's the big question we say. So this happened 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 120 years ago. So what? What's the impact? Short term? What's the impact long term? And even how do we see that to this day? And as you can see, background buildup, heart, impact, change very much follows this good old plot diagram. If you see your average commercial or a short video on social media or your favorite TV show or Hollywood movie or book, magazine, graphic novel, whatever, stories follow this arc. This is how people like to tell stories. And this is how students are going to tell the story of their topic. So taking those terms and putting something that maybe you're a little more familiar with. And then this is just a little more detailed version of those 5 parts to the story, and you can check that out. And then here's a more of a concrete example of that with the topic of Jackie Robinson. So take a look at those, drill into those. We will be doing that in class as well, but we wanted you to have a copy of it too. A couple big things that are coming up. Topic proposals are due this Friday. There's a research strategy guide next, and then again, they have all those due dates and deadlines that are available on the SOC History Day website, and also in that email that hopefully this video was sent with. It's also a screenshot in there if you can see that. And then, as this quote suggests, it's only the future of democracy that we're working on here with students and helping them learn how to be an inspired, thoughtful, and informed citizenry. And so thank you all for listening and hope this was helpful. If you ever have questions, please make sure you reach out to your child's teacher, and we will be happy to help you out as much as possible. But also make sure you encourage your child to ask us questions and check in, because that's usually the best way to go. Thanks.